I'm Professor Seth Frey, and welcome to the demo of Module 5, where we're going to explore Wikipedia in code. We're going to go to Wikipedia and ask it questions. Are we going to ask it questions about facts? We're actually going to ask maybe a question you've asked yourself. What are your chances of becoming famous? Or more generally, how many people become famous? Like, what proportion? Is it 1 out of 5? Is it that 1 out of your 5 friends is going to become like famous? Or is it 1 in a million? Is it something in between there? I'm guessing it's something in between there. It's worth actually, before going all the way through this lesson, kind of asking yourself, like, okay, I know this many people, and I think that none of them are going to become famous, or that this many will become famous. Or there's this many people at UC Davis. There's about 30,000-ish people at UC Davis. I think of those, this many people are going to become famous. So develop your kind of prior belief, and we can bounce that against what actually happens. How are we going to do that? Here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to use Wikipedia's definition of famous. Wikipedia has something called notability, and it's the criterion it uses to decide if somebody deserves a Wikipedia page. If you were to go right now onto Wikipedia and create a page for yourself, maybe make some stuff up about how great you are, or maybe give facts about how great you are, very shortly, more likely than not, some random person on Wikipedia who really cares about notability is going to flag your page and propose it for deletion on the basis that you aren't famous. And then there's going to be a discussion by a bunch of other random people, and you can chime in on that discussion, make a case for yourself that yes, you're notable according to the definition of notability on Wikipedia, and maybe you'll make that case, or maybe your article will get deleted. And this is all illustration that there's active policing of what it means to be notable. And there's specific definitions of notability for professors, for athletes, for politicians, and so on and so on and so on. So we're going to go on to Wikipedia. We're going to find all the people who are more or less your age on Wikipedia. And we're going to compare that against the number of people who are born in your year on Wikipedia. And so the fraction, the number of articles of people born in that year divided by the number of people born in that year is the fraction of people who have become famous since 2000. And it's your current probability or likelihood of becoming famous. So how are we going to do all that? Let's go to, I'm using the year 2000 sort of as our baseline. We're going to get an estimate of how many people were born in the year 2000. My guess is it's around 4 million, plus or minus 500,000. I just got that from Googling. And then we're going to find the list of all people born in 2000. We're going to scrape all of Wikipedia, sort of, to extract out the articles about people. I'm going to focus on people who are born who are American, and who were born in 2000. Now, how are we going to do that? That sounds like a tall order. Are we going to automatically or programmatically read every article and sort of look for a sentence that says when and where they were born? We're not going to do that. A lot of the hard work's been done for us, and we're going to see that by looking at one famous 2000ite. The youngest Jonas brother. I'm going to scroll straight to the bottom of the article. At the bottom of the article, you have all these categories. Look at that. Jonas family, Jonas brothers, American people of Scotch descent, and on and on and on and on and on. So these, we can sort of skip straight to the bottom. Our Python, our code, is going to skip straight to the bottom of every page. And what you see here, we've got our 2000 births. So if I click on that, I'm going to get a list of all the people who were born in 2000 who are notable according to Wikipedia's definition of notability. And similarly, American voice actors, American people of German descent. This American people of German descent, this category is itself in a category, American people of European descent, which is in a category of American people by ethnic origin, which is in the category of American people. Okay, so in addition to asking for all the people born in 2000, I can ask for all the people who are either in the category American people or in one of the categories that's inside the category of American people, down to, or in one of the categories, that's in one of the categories, that's in one of the categories, that's in one of the categories, 5 more times, that's in the category of American people. That's what we're going to do. That's going to give us a list of article titles. We're going to find the length of that list in Python. That's going to be the number of people who are both American people born in 2000. That's going to be the top number in our fraction. We've already got the bottom number, about 4 million. When we run that division, we're going to do it. We're going to get your probability of being famous. Are you ready? Okay, so your standard disclaimer is I don't expect you to understand all this code. I want you to be able to skim it. I want you to be able to run it. I want you to be able to tweak some of the inputs and get different outputs out. But I'm not expecting you to be able to write it from scratch, to author it, to make major changes to it, to grow it. That's a great thing to do. It's a great thing to want to do, but it's not how this course is evaluated. This is a high-level demo. So, first, let's just introduce this function I'm giving you called Get Wikipedia Titles by Category. There's a category for the shades of gray. It turns out there's an article about gray, but there's also articles about colors that are like gray. And if we put in that category, we'll get all the members of that category, all the grays. So black is in the category shades of gray. Black is a shade of gray. Peach black, white, cinereous, glaucous, and on and on and on and on. Okay, there's all the grays. This one function shows us how much gray there is. There's a lot of gray. Gray is actually kind of more colorful than you'd think. All right, and if you look at this content and we actually go to the category, you'll see that it lines up. That for each of the things on this page, through the browser, through the human access to Wikipedia, there's a corresponding entry for the computer's access to Wikipedia. Moving along, we can actually do other fun stuff. So how many spices are there approximately in Wikipedia? We're going to print out the length, and we're going to print out all the spices we get by getting all the titles of pages in the category spices. This might take a while because there's over 600 articles about spices. They include celery, beetle, like betel, licorice, jerk, penteri, and on and on and on and on and on. And a lot. Wow, that's great. That's fascinating. See, it's great being able to browse this. I'm having a great time, at least. I don't know about you. All right, how about all the Wikipedia articles about Cretaceous California? How many are there? Looks like ballpark, 30, 40, 50-ish. Yeah, okay, that's a bunch. A lot of formations. This looks like a lot of geology articles. Okay, so you put in a category that exists on Wikipedia, and you can get a sense of what categories are possible by going to any page on Wikipedia, scrolling to the bottom of it, and seeing what categories that page is in. I wrote this function that you can also take 2 categories. And what happens when you plug 2 categories into the function Get Wikipedia Titles by Category is you'll get all the pages that are in both of those categories. So we have a list of people from New York City, which is one of the subcategories of American people. And Wikipedia, this is going to take a while because there's a lot of Wikipedia articles about New Yorkers. Looks like over 30,000. Over 30,000 New Yorkers are famous. Now this is of all time, right? This isn't just year 2000. This is anyone who was ever from New York City made it on this list, including people who moved there later in life. So there's a bunch of selection bias. All right, that was one category. Now here's a different category. The category of New York Yankees players. How many of those are there on Wikipedia? Over almost 2,000. Almost 2,000 Yankees players have articles on Wikipedia. So now we get to ask the question, how many New Yorkers have played for New York? We'll do this by finding the people who are both from New York City and Yankees players. We run it. What do we got? It can't be. It probably won't be 1700. There's probably a lot of people who have played for Yankees who aren't from New York, and actually, it's a surprising amount of people. It's less than 100 apparently. You didn't see that coming. Okay, and actually that might be wrong. I mean, this is all subject to human error, right? If someone didn't if you got tagged as being from New York State, maybe you didn't get tagged as being from the city. A lot of this is done by humans. A lot of this categorization. So maybe this number's off by a lot. Maybe it's right actually. Maybe it's just off by a little. You'll feel more confident about some than others. But it's hard to find structured data about humanity. So Wikipedia is about as good as you're going to get. You always want to look at the specific results. You always want to explore a bunch and get a sense of the confounds in your data set. But having done that and really knowing a domain, you can start to trust the data you're getting from this kind of strategy. So given that, now we get to move into using Get Wikipedia Titles by Category, this function, to answer our motivating question. So having done all that, we can dive into your chances of being famous. We're going to build up. Let's start, rather than skipping straight to 2000, let's look at 2019. How many people were born in 2019 who are famous? How many people were born famous? They haven't done anything yet. They literally can't do anything, and yet they got Wikipedia articles. They were notable for some reason. Take a guess how many you think that'll be. Take a guess what kind of person. Is it going to be children of celebrities? If we run it, it's pretty much all royalty. There's just one. There were more. I think they got deleted, actually. So yeah, watch this page. See how this evolves. Presumably, it's going to grow and grow and grow over the next 10 years, 20 years, 30, 40, 50 years. This category is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger as more and more people become famous. You're going to have your late bloomers, and in 70 years from now, people will still be getting added to it. Who didn't become famous at 30, they became famous at 70 or whatever. So a group of you have had 20 years to get that category. So we're going to run it now. We're inputting a list of people who were born in 2000 and who are American. We're going to get the length of that list. This is going to take a little longer because there's more notable 2000ers than notable 2019ers. A lot can happen in 19 years, and you're going to have your mix of young athletes and young celebrities, young artists, probably not too many young politicians, plenty of young royalty, and no shortage of athletes. All right, there we are. There's 500 people on Wikipedia who were born in 2000. Here they are. Willow Smith, all kinds of other folks. That Lucas Brothers in there. We're going to take that 488 and divide it by 4 million to get our answer. About 1 out of every 10,000 people born in 2000 are famous. So if you guessed 1 in 10,000, or about 3 people at UC Davis, except for all the professors, then you were right. Congratulations. If you guessed a bigger number than that, if you guessed 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000, then you think your chances of being famous are a lot higher than they really are. Sorry. All right, so what about older? How many people born in 1950 are famous? What's your, as you've had a little bit of time to get around and make your name, make your make a name for yourself, make your claim on the world. Once you've matured a bunch, we're going to exclude some late bloomers, right? But you've had a lot of time. What are your chances of becoming famous, like over more of a lifetime? We're going to wait. I'm waiting. Oh, there it is. 4,821. Let's divide that by 4 million, and we get... I'm just going to change this to 1950. 1950. Just so we get the nice output. I'm assuming the same number of people were born. It's actually going to be a lot less. How do I handle this? So that 4 million ends up being like a underestimate. So 12 out of so it becomes 1 out of 1,000 at least. It's gonna So your chances improve by about 10 times over your life. It's still pretty rare. Not everyone gets to be famous. Not everyone becomes notable enough to get a page on Wikipedia. And even then, think of what notability means. Think of all the people with Wikipedia pages who you've never heard of. Look at all the people on this list. You have no idea who they are. So again, this is a relatively low threshold for fame. Nevertheless, this is going to be this gives us some grounding, some data, some hard data on the probability of achieving some definition of fame or notability. And we're able to do it in relatively few lines of Wikipedia that were, in relatively few lines of code that were relatively readable and skimmable, that again, you can play with by messing with the input, by putting different categories in and putting different combinations of categories in and calculating different numbers. We didn't have to scrape any of Wikipedia's text. We were able to use a lot of functionality that's built, because Wikipedia, like a lot of the other things we look at in this course, was made to be interacted with by computers as much as it's made to be interacted with by humans. So it has a great API that allows us to do lots of cool stuff, and we've really just scratched the surface. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you play around with it, and thanks so much.